What up YouTube, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be covering all of the new mechanics that were added in last night's patch. There's quite a lot of stuff to go through, mainly centered around the changes to rebel groups. As you can see here, rather than having 25 levels of rebel groups previously, I'm at 250 plus for all three of them. I started at 251 for each of them. That is based on your combat ability assessment. But rather than using your historic high value like is used for ranking in events, it instead uses your current value. So make sure you swap to all of your best gear, skins, all of this stuff before you click that button. Because this score here is what it uses, and that varies based upon what you currently have equipped. I didn't change out my rebel gear on this account before doing the blitz, or I could have started a few levels higher. I tested it on Covya, and indeed his score was listed at something like 125,000 in his rebel gear, which jumped up to 135,000 when I swapped to my combat gear. So I definitely recommend doing that so you can start at the highest level possible. You can then choose specifically what troop type you want to fight, so you can always focus on whatever you're designed to counter. So my personal strategy is just going to be keep killing cavalry until I can't anymore, and then I guess I can try to boost up the others to get some rewards. Now, these don't just appear on the map. When you search for them, it will put one down for your level. So you have to actually use the search button. There doesn't seem to be a way to blitz up through the levels. The blitz in City Affairs seems to challenge the last level you cleared. When you do your first assessment, you'll get all the rewards for the levels you skipped sent to your mail. Now, you might not get badges with yours. I think they come in at level 200 plus, so if you're not clearing past that level with your first blitz, then you'll just get the badges and Arslan medals. And that brings us on to another change, which is to the combat reports. As you can see here, there's now a section for weapons, and there's this button here. If you click it, it shows you where all of the losses came from in the battle. So it's really quite a nice breakdown to see how effective your synergies are and all this stuff. That about covers it for the rebel changes. Up next is this new Flea Bottoms shop. This is basically a new recycle shop. I don't know if it's going to be permanent, if that 7-day countdown is as long as it's here, or if that's a refresh timer. That's not actually clear. But the shop offers a whole bunch of stuff that you can recycle. For example, you can turn all of your Old Town Bowman medals, which you obviously have countless of, into generic A-type medals. That was at a price of 100 to 1 with a maximum of 100, and you can also trade in Fiery Essence to get Shadow Essence, Dragon Food or Gold at a price of 20 to 1 for the Shadow Essence and 10 to 1 for the other two. The rest of your specific A-type troop medals can be changed at 10 to 1 for generic A medals, and the same for your Black Ear Warriors if you've got a lot of them. And then if you've got too many A-type medals, you can turn them into S-type medals, or if you're like me and you've also finished all the S-type troops, you can turn them into gold instead. Another thing you might have noticed when I scrolled through the shop earlier was that you can turn the old rebel group items into copper. Now, why would you want to do that? That's because the materials that you used to upgrade the rebel group items is now being replaced entirely, and it is just copper. You don't need the rings and all that iron and all that stuff. You just use copper to upgrade them. Well, that's according to the patch notes. I don't actually have an account to test that because both my accounts have these all maxed out. Related to the new shop, everything that used to offer specific troop type medals in shops where you could buy stuff has now been replaced with generic universal troop medals. That's the Elite Trial shop, the Recruitment Pass shop, and the Mariners Hall shop. So you just get universal medals rather than the ones for each specific troop type. There's one more change that I want to cover that I didn't see mentioned in the patch notes, which is that you can now buy Sandblade chests in the Fiery Crystal Mine shop. Sandblade is Arslan's ancient weapon, and I think this is the first free-to-play ancient spear weapon that you can now get reliably by buying these chests. I assume, based on the fact that the chests that used to be in the shop were just Oath and Snowwolf, and those were the weapon shards that also appeared in the mines, swapping about week to week, I assume that Sandblade will now join them in that rotation, and it will be a 3-week rotation instead. But that is just a guess, and we'll have to wait 2 weeks to see because we're currently on Oath, and I assume Snowwolf will still be up next. But that about covers it for this patch. Let me know in the comments down below what rebel group level you got to start at, or if there's anything that you think that I've missed out of this video. Thank you guys for watching.